Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hikate's Crossing to Hikate's Crossing. I'm Paula, by the way, here in New Zealand, for those that don't know. I want to say a big thank you to all my subscribers, those who have supported me along my journey, and the friends that I've made. Some beautiful, beautiful souls who support me in so many different ways, including my Ko-Fi, whether they donate for a reading or support me monthly with the memberships and things like that, or who just connect with me on a real beautiful level. So I just want to say a big thank you to everybody who has supported me on this amazing journey. Now, with a friend in Australia, beautiful soul, and she knows who she is. Okay, so she was selling some decks secondhand, and very spoiled and been given the choice in what I wanted. Of course, I'd love to have brought everything, but not everything is to my taste, so very selective in that case. Now, beautiful. I am so spoiled. She always adds little extra gifts, and I got the scarf, which is going to be amazing to wear in my hair, so on my head. So I'm quite looking forward to being able to, once I'm sort of done up with a bit of makeup and done beautifully with, you know, going out somewhere nice, this is going to look amazing. So I'm really excited to wear that. So a big thank you. Now I could use it to wrap decks in if I wanted to. You know, there's so many ways to use these scarves with decks and things like that. But let me see, in my purchase, okay, Shadowscape Tarot. Now we did get a slightly, now this is by Llewellyn. Now it does say this is by Barbara Moore, and the text is by Stephanie Puemanlaw. Okay, so beautiful deck. I have had this deck before. Okay, I have had this deck before. So yeah, so this is feels slightly smaller than what I remember. Maybe that was just my imagination, but anyway, it does come with a little book, and it has a little bit of information about the cards, each card, or the meanings of each card, should I say. It doesn't tell you much about the imagery or anything like that, but it does show a little bit. Now I know they do have a larger deck with a larger book, which is quite cool, but they obviously made it smaller, which is kind of cool. So the kit, okay, so that's what I'm thinking about. Kit was 2010. Now the 14th print, that was the first printing. 14th printing is deck only, 220. That's kind of interesting. I didn't realize that. Okay, so the kit, which had the large, what I was just saying about the large book, and the slightly larger cards, were 2010, and this one here, which is the deck only, is 2020. That's, God, well, it's been around for 10 years. Okay, well, 10-15 years. Wow. Okay. So that is kind of cool, Llewellyn. Okay, so for those that have worked with the Shadowscape, you know what it's all about. Now, the deck may not be in order. It says, find your inspiration as you leap into a fantastical world of floating mermaids and dancing fairies with a mystical deck based on the Rider-Waite system. Stephanie Puemanlaw's exquisite artwork blends Asian, Celtic and fantasy themes inspired by fairy tales, myths and folklore from cultures worldwide. Also included an epoch-sized booklet with snapshot interpretations of the cards, symbolic meanings by the artist, and unique spreads by award-winning tarot expert Barbara Moore. Okay, so that's kind of cool. So it's just a snapshot of what would be in the larger guidebook. Now, I'm not worried about that at all. Now, these cards are not particularly in any order. Don't know if there's any upside reversed cards or anything like that, but let's have a look at the imagery for those that have not worked with this deck in any way. Now, I have worked with this deck before, as I said, and it's in the kit, but unfortunately, again, it was one of those decks that disappeared. So this has been on my wish list for a huge amount of time to replace what I had. So I was so rapt when I was given the opportunity to get this deck from the friend. So absolutely love the imagery. I always find there's so much these cards speak of when you're doing a reading. Love the full. Absolutely gorgeous imagery indeed. Say so much with their colour, their pastels, the imagery is just beautiful. There's just something about it that speaks volumes when you're doing readings. So I'm looking forward to working with this for lives and for clients. And don't forget, you can book your free readings. If you're a Ko-Fi member, you can book your free readings, or you can donate for a tarot and oracle reading. Of course, it'll be with one of the fairy oracles, as you know that I've got a lot of fairy oracles that this could go with. Indeed. Beautiful. Beautiful indeed. Oh, I can't wait to dive into this deck a little further with it. Wow. This. Oh, this indeed. Okay. So let's take a moment as we sort of flish through these last few cards and think about our future. Our path, our journey. What journey are we on? What card do we need to reflect on today? What's going to be important to our journey? Okay, what's going to be really important to our journey right now? Let's have a look. Oh, here we go, this card here. What do we get? 10 of Pentacles, wealth and abundance. Now, I'm not just talking financial wealth and abundance. I'm talking about happiness and joy, a sense of security. All of those beautiful, or those parts of our journey that are important to us. Maybe it's family. There's a wealth and abundance in family, which is kind of really important. Now, another card just flicked out. So let's just grab that one as well. Oh, okay. 6 of Pentacles. 6 of Pentacles is that harmony, that growth, that expansion, that sense of everything sort of coming alive in that moment. But it's definitely about that sense of harmony, harmonious energy. Wow, beautiful. Woo! Here we have 4 of Swords, that moment of being able to step into a moment of silence, of pausing. Again, you're getting that pausing, that moment to really feel. Okay, you've got this wealth and abundance, and you've got this give and take, this balance, this sense of harmonious energy going on. But it's also that sense of I want to say stability, maybe building foundations in regards to an idea or a plan of some sort. That ability to just stop for a minute and pause, take a moment to reflect, to contemplate, to review where you are right now. Woo! Really strong. So it's all about that wealth and abundance, right? But you're going to take a moment to stand still and look at what you're giving and receiving. You know, what are you giving unconditionally? Not only to yourself, but to others, of course, which is really important. Or not only to others, but to yourself. Having that sense of, how, you know, whatever's happening within you reflects on what's happening around you or what's going on. So it's all about taking a moment to sit in silence and reflect, to contemplate, to think about what's next in your journey. Woo! I love that. So that is the Shadowscape Tarot, which I absolutely love. So I'm so pleased it's this size deck too, which is really good. I love it. I love it. So let me just put that away for a second as we look at the next deck in the collection. Now, we have the Mandala Healing Oracle, which I was quite excited to get as another round deck. Now, I do have a couple of round decks already, like the Mother Peace and the Past Life Oracle. But I do want a sort of a healing oracle that would go with, you know, sort of mandala type of energy. And I get that with the David Bowie tarot. There's a few I think that this may go with. Maybe Siddhartha Tarot, or even the Swagatam Tarot, or anything that's sort of got that sort of sacred geometry type of healing energy. Just thinking of the Shadows of Light Oracle I got as well, which was a Kickstarter. So there's a few decks that I think this Mandala Healing Oracle would actually go with, so I'm looking forward to diving into that. So this is the Mandala Healing Oracle Guidebook, this is a guidebook by Denise Jarvie, or the Mandala Healing Oracle. Right, so let's have a look. We've got an introduction, dedication. Now it is a Blue Angel Publishing by Lunia Weatherstone and Maria del Balso. And this is by Denise Jarvie. Right, all the artwork is. So it talks about mandala. What is a mandala? I just thought I've got the Buddhism Oracle as well, which is a round deck, which may go with this as well if I wanted, you know. So mandala is a Sanskrit word meaning circle. Mandalas are used for meditation. Personal Hindus, Jains and Buddhists use mandalas to represent the cosmos as objects of contemplation. Of course, Native American use symbolic circles in art and ritual. In Christian cathedrals and gardens, the mandala is represented by the labyrinth and is used for centering and contemplation. That's interesting. A little bit about Carl Jung. And then it talks about working with mandalas in colour. Works with the colours. Colour meanings for readings and healings. So that's interesting, something to dive into at some stage, which is going to be good. And then using the cards, preparing your energy and environment, using it for meditation, using the cards for readings. Spreads. Okay, we've got the Oracle of Healing single card spread, a Mandala Healing 4-card spread, another Mandala message using a 4-card spread, and that's it in that one. But I think you could use it in any way you like, of course. I could see it in doing like a 12-month spread, and then each month pulling out that card again and diving into it, or a week, or a maybe even a 4-week spread. Another 4 card, doing a 4 weeks and doing 1 card a week. There's lots of ways that you could dive into this with healing reflections, journal prompts, and then how to close your healing session. Different ways to dive into that. I'm not going to do that right now. We've got card messages. So you've got, for example, the acceptance card talks about gently accept where you are right now. It's not wrong or right, it's just where you are, there's no need. Then it talks about a healing reflection, open your heart and receive your desires. Placing the acceptance card in front of you, take a deep breath as you inhale and exhale, and then it's got the journal prompt as well, so which is quite cool. So if you wanted to do that as a daily thing or a monthly thing, whatever you want to do, totally up to you. of course. A great way to know the deck, of course, is daily. If you did a daily one, would be quite good. Okay, so we've got how many cards? I just want to see how many cards are in here. Okay, there is a personal mandala, which is black and white. Okay, so there's 44 with the black and white personal mandala, which you can then imagine colour filling this mandala as a way to visit your beautiful harmonious centre whenever you want. Your consciousness will expand. The colours you see may change. New ideas will drop into awareness in the days that follow. Celebrate the new and found empowerment you're creating. Okay, kind of interesting. Okay, so this is the back of the cards. Just kind of cool. Okay, so these won't be in order, of course, but beautifully done. So let's have a look at the images. Now, it just may take me a minute to sort of go through and put them all into order, because they're not, well, not order, into the upright position, because you know these cards shift around quite easily. Okay, that one there, the back of the card is actually love. Beautiful. So you have that love energy going through the deck completely. The path of the heart. These are beautiful, beautiful mandala energy, which you could use for so many different decks. If you've got any ideas or thoughts about what decks you could use with this deck, love to hear your thoughts. I did mention some, of course, with Siddhartha, Buddhism, Hindu, any sort of healing, Celtic deck, even the Celtic deck, Universal Celtic Oracle, even Norse, anything really, sacred geometry cards, anything like that as well, David Bowie, anything that's going to bring in a healing energy you could use with this. Well, there's the personal mandala one, the black and white. There's so much in these cards. There's so much to focus on, to look at, to think about, to take a moment. So a card a day would be really, really good to dive into. Ooh, so let's have a look. What card are we going to reflect on today? What card are we... Ooh! Straight away, as soon as I said that, the card that flicked out was the unknown. Ooh! So this deck is going to bring us the unknown. So let's have a look and see what it actually says. Card number 40, which is 4, which is stable and foundations. But let's have a look. The mystery of you is just what is not known. Sometimes we call it alien. The way to know the unknown is to turn inward and get to know every part of you. When you allow the stories of who you think you are to fall away, your truth will shine and you will begin to truly know and trust yourself. Okay, place the unknown card in front of you. Take a deep breath as you exhale. Focus on the center of the mandala. This is your temple of inner sight. Breathe and relax. We are so used to seeing the outside world lit up that we expect our inner world to be the same. I'm not going to read it all, but just to give you an idea. Wow, beautiful. So we're moving into the unknown. That's something interesting to think about and reflect on. Okay, so let's put that aside as we continue looking at the Land and Sky Oracle. Is the last one that I could get here. Land and Sky Oracle. Okay, Land and Sky Oracle. Now this one is by Teresa Hutch. Okay, this is a US Games one. Inspired by her work as a yoga teacher and practitioner, Teresa Hutch created the Land Sky Oracle as a gentle guide through the 8 limbs of yoga as a path to true happiness. So another sort of Siddhartha, Swagatam Tarot type of oracle deck I think would work through. So any sort of yeah, anything that's sort of connecting to yoga in that sort of Eastern world, should I put it that way. The watercolor images of animals, deities, and symbols provide a visual means of connecting with the ancient teachings of yoga. So it's 49 cards with a 60-page guidebook. And we have 8 limbs with keywords, focus work, and affirmations. So affirmational work again. Okay, beautiful guidebook, I think. It's got a beautiful guidebook. It's got Yama, honor others. And these look like these have been, okay, so I think she separated them like that on purpose. Okay. Maybe, okay. So, let's have a look. These are the backs of the cards. Yama. Oh, okay, there's a whole lot of them. Honor others. Okay. Niyama, honor yourself. Asana, physical postures. Pranayama, breath work. Samadhi, enlightenment. Dhyana, meditation. Dharana, concentration. Pratyahara. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Oops, and there's more. Oh, okay. So we've got Yama, where you honor up. Oh, these are the eight limbs. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Samadhi, Dhyana, Dharana, and Pratyahara. Okay, kind of interesting there. Okay, so got you. Now I understand that little bit. Land Sky Oracle, a journey through Patanjali's 8 limbs of yoga. West Games, of course. So it's got a little bit of an acknowledgement. Now this is 2020. Okay, it talks about the introduction, learning yoga. What is the Land Sky Oracle? 44 card deck with gentle illustrations that take you on a journey through the 8 limbs of yoga. Guide you through these 8 limbs with 1 major card and 5 minor cards for each limb. Okay, so how to live in the material world and how to live in the immaterial world. Okay, it's kind of interesting. What language is on the cards? Some of the cards are written in Sanskrit, the ancient language of yogis. Classic yoga text. So the Patanjali Sutras and oral Indian traditions. Wow. They teach the yoga class in Sanskrit. It's kind of interesting. Didn't know that. Using the deck, the Land Sky Oracle pairs well with other Oracle and Tarot decks. Sacred Space, Land Sky Meditation, about breath work, and a card a day. And repeat the affirmation during your breath work. Then we've got a spirit, which is Land Sky, a spread, which is Land Sky Spirit, so it's a 3-card spread. Then we have an 8-limb path spread. And then it talks about each card. Okay, kind of interesting. Split into each section. Okay, kind of interesting there. And what the inspiration is, what inspired her. So wow, okay, interesting. So let's just go through. That's the back of the deck, back of the cards. And here is the cards. Again, not in order. They do have their symbol. They do have some imagery. They've got a number, a title, and a keyword. So, Hanuman. Look at that. I love the pastel colours in this. It's beautiful. So this is something I've looked at a few times and not really made a click on. So when I was given the opportunity, yes, yes, yes is what I said. Oh, with Ganesha. It's lovely. That's beautiful. Wow, that's cool. Kapalabhati Pranayama. Skull Shining Breath. Oh, that'll be interesting. Beautiful. White Sage. Cleansing. Oh, I love that Kali card. That's quite different. Fierce Love. And she is when she's like Kali Ma. She has that real motherly love. So there's different aspects, of course, of Kali. So we can dive into that as well. Wow. This is really quite beautiful when you actually look at the card. When you've got the deck in your hand, you realize just how gorgeous it is. Buddha with grace. Yes, he was a man of grace, with a lot of grace. Mushka. Oh wow! Oh, look at that. That's lovely. This is gorgeous. It's really it's got a really gentle energy. Malachite with crystal. It's got a very gentle energy about it. A very meditative, compassionate energy. Howlet, so the crystals and that with it, the animal. Oh, it's beautiful. The chakras with the serpents. Anulam Bolam Pranayama. Energy purification breath. That's cool. Penguin. Okay, and then we have the 8. Oh, that's quite good. It's got a bit of a sort of a 8 limbs of yoga. With each, as with the 8, with their cards and a little bit of a list there. So it's kind of interesting. So let's put that card to one side because we don't really. Now what card? Oh no, that was the book. Right, let's put that card in there. Now let's have a look and see what card. Okay, what are we going to reflect on? Dharana talks about concentration, so it's all about that focus. So that's going to be our big thing. It's all about focus, meditation, that sense of. Let's have a look and see what they actually say. 31. Okay, Dharana, holding Rana steady. Qualities of stillness and absorption. Limb 6. This great grey owl gives full focus while hunting. This incredible concentration is a natural state without force. Clear a small space to dedicate your practice of mindfulness. You can focus on a repeating sound such as Ram or Aum. You can also practice Tratakar by gazing at a candle flame, Yantra, which is a sacred mandala, or on an image that elevates you. The Yoga Sutra is Dharana is the binding of the mind to one place, object, or idea. Dharana is the binding of the mind to one place, object, or idea. Do you pride yourself in multitasking? The next time you are... No, I don't pride myself in multitasking because that just splits my energy. The next time you're in conversation, give it your full intention. That's interesting. Still your body, your mind will follow. Your affirmation, so the affirmation for today is, I live in the moment fully and authentically, being in the now. That's kind of interesting because I pulled out the Lost Oracle and the message was about being in the now, being in the moment. I live in the moment fully and authentically. Oh, I love that message. Absolutely love that message. Still your body, your mind will follow. No, it's important not. You can try and multitask, but it does not help your journey at all. One step at a time, one task at a time allows you to move forward. Now, I feel like I want to get a little bit information, a bit more about the concentration. So can you tell me a little bit more about, oh, it's kind of interesting. These two cards pulled out. Wow, now that's kind of interesting because you look what we've got here in L. And we have another one with Zamade, with enlightenment. So it's about getting the information. And why do we have camel pose? Ustrasana, camel pose. Okay, so let's have a look and see what the message about the camel pose is. So we're talking about the sense of enlightenment, understanding, which is, you know, getting clarity. So we're talking about concentration brings clarity, right? So what is the camel pose? What number is that one? So we know 16. Okay, camel pose. The qualities is steadiness. Okay, that's kind of interesting. So camel pose is also camel asana posture. Okay, so qualities is steadiness and tolerance. Tap into camel energy, adaptable and resourceful. So it's about being adaptable and resourceful. Find sweetness at your heart center as it opens to life as it is. Don't be surprised if this posture brings up emotions that are stored in your pelvis. This pose will open your heart. Kneel on the floor with your knees hip width apart. Bring your hands behind you as if you're putting them in your back pocket. Draw your hips forward. Feel your heart open and breathe. Okay, kneel on the floor with your knees hip width apart. Okay, bring your hands behind you as if you're putting them in your back pockets. Draw your hips, draw your hips forward. Feel your heart open and breathe. To deepen the pose, lean back and reach one heel at a time. Stay here for 5 to 7 breaths, then release as you sit down on your heels. By Samayama, on the strength of elephants and others, such animals, their strength is obtained. Yoga Sutra. Okay, the reflections are, what are my limits? When was the last time you were out of your comfort zone? Travel can help you expand. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. My breath helps me adapt to any situation. Okay, so here we're talking about the sense of staying focused, right? Concentrating. And with this one here, you've got to allow yourself to get understanding. So if you're able to focus, you get understanding. But that understanding, it comes from opening your heart and allowing you to adapt to the situation that's going on at the moment. Wow, what an interesting combination of cards there. That really gives me something to reflect on, to contemplate. So let's take a breath for a minute. And we're going to allow ourselves to sort of feel that clarity, that enlightenment, that opening of our heart, allowing us to feel like we're able to adapt to any situation, to be able to stay clear and focused on where we're going. Ooh, interesting combination of cards there. What a great message for reflection there. Okay, so that's it from me. You've managed to, I've shown you the cards, the decks that I got, that I purchased. Secondhand, beautifully done. I'm so wrapped in getting these decks from the angel. So let me just lay them out here. So, Land Sky Oracle, the Mandala Healing Oracle, and of course Shadowscape Tarot, which I'll dive into a little bit more in a separate video. Okay, so that's it from me. Don't forget, check the links down below, check the links on my channel, like, subscribe and ring the bell so you know when the next video will be uploaded. And don't forget, if you are a Ko-Fi member, Ko-Fi family, you can book a reading with these decks, or you can donate to get a reading with these, with this tarot and oracle reading, whatever you want, depending on what you donate, of course. But also you have the option to buy a full reading from my Ko-Fi shop as well. Okay, and just request these decks, indeed. Okay, that's it from me. Take care and blessed be.